Hey, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
what's your favorite thing about cars?
Probably when Mater says, "Yeah, my name's Mater, but without the tuh."
No,
I like that part.
no, like real cars. Like what the episode's supposed to be about today?
Oh, right. Hi, I'm Hannah LaFleur,
And I'm Aubrey Massey.
and this is Okay, So Hear Me Out.
Okay, so Hear Me Out is an imagination exploratorium where Hannah and I choose a topic and then shoot some ideas back and forth in order to improve the world and or improve the subject. And this week, it is all about cars. Your good
And
old
that is actual
automobiles
cars.
buddies.
Yeah,
Get you from
right.
point A to point B to point C.
Yeah, and I mean, who needs public transportation anyway?
As the
Old
great
habits die hard.
Mike Wazowski once said, the honk honk and the vroom vroom. Boom. 2 Pixar films down. Let's see how many more we can get into this bad boy.
All right, I'll try. I wish I could have replied with some kind of quote. That would have been like the perfect ending, and I would have felt amazing, but I didn't. Anyway, I'll try to slip one in. I will start us out with ideas. So I thought about this morning after our cat Temperance took the most lovely smelly dump ever. So what if we had cars that ran on cat shit or cat litter? So like you dumped all the litter into the back, and the car was shaped like a giant cat, like Cat Bus from My Neighbor Totoro, except not furry, just because that'd be hard to take care of if it rained. Anyway, so it looks like a cat, and yeah, you like put the fuel inside of its mouth, and it goes meow. Yay, you fed it, and then as you drive, it like has little poops, like as it. It poops out the poops. But anyway, the most important part is that it drives because it runs on cat shit.
Okay, so hold on. Before I bring out the positives of all of this, I do have to ask a few questions. One, so this cat bus that runs on cat
car correction.
car that runs on cat feces. You would fuel the car by emptying out litter boxes into its mouth. That's the orifice of choice that you would use. You'd say,
Correct.
"Here, cat, eat your own shit. Now
Yes.
run."
Yes,
Okay.
I would do that.
And then you think at the end the cat poops would come out in a way that
Okay.
would infer that they were never actually used, and therefore putting them in the car is not necessarily fuel to make it move in any sense. It's
Hey.
just a kind of reward system for doing what they're supposed to do. It's paying it forward. Hey, cat, if you run from here to here, I'll put some shit in your mouth.
You know what? A girl can dream, okay? I would just love to see my little cat car just do little poops after it uses its after it goes. However, I realize it's a problem because we'd have poop on the streets again, like it's the freaking 1800s or some shit. And also, I realize, and I don't know how the cat litter would actually like get used, like burned or whatever would happen to it. I don't know. But hey, I am not a car mechanic. I just have dreams. And a little pooping catmobile is one of those.
Okay. Now I want to add some positives to that because I think it's a good idea in the way that, one,
It has ears.
Okay, sure. Let me remake my list real fast. One, it's got ears. Sure. Two, it should raise the adoption rates of cats because people will need more cats in order to get shit to fuel their new cat car. So that's a huge positive as well. As long as we can like make cat breeding for profit a little bit more illegal and wrong, people will start adopting cats more. And that's good. I like those things.
Well, good. I'm glad those things have your support.
Everything else I'm worried about, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
I have an idea. Let me throw one at you.
Okay.
All right? Okay. So, people become dangerous on the road when either A, they get really, really cocky and confident, and B, they get really, really angry. So, I think that all cars should run on smiles and happiness, because that way, if you get angry and get into a road rage, your car just stops and you gotta pull over until you're calm and in a better place to drive. This is coming from me, who's always incredibly angry at everybody else on the road. So I don't think I'd get anywhere, but I think it would save quite a few lives.
I do think I would never get home from work because it would be really hard for me to smile and be happy.
We could also make it run on sadness.
Oh, see, that's the car I need of hopelessness and discouragement. Except when I'm in the car with you, then we can make it run on laughter. Hey, maybe there's like a dial, you know?
Maybe.
You're like, hey, I'm feeling happy today. I'm going to run this car on laughs. Or I'm feeling but angry is not one of them. I'm feeling sad. I'm going to run this on my sobs. Or I'm feeling hungry.
Well, maybe
I don't see how that would work.
Maybe you just get a different car for every emotion. So you have like a sadness sedan, right? That would pretty work. A happiness Honda. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of things. Laughter limousine.
Oh, that's fancy.
I'm working my hardest here.
I have another car, like, instead of gasoline, I've got another replacement idea. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, compost. This is a little bit better than cat shit because it doesn't require the cat part or the poop part. But you take all because, like, man, we have so much compost just because, like, banana peels and avocado peels. Yes, so basic. And, like, the stems from those grapes and, like, just a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, you take all that stuff and you put it in your car. And you don't have to, like, it goes from your trash.
And it's also shaped like a cat.
Sure. Or it's shaped like a trash can. Or it's shaped like a banana. Oh, my Lord. I'm sorry. I got a little bit too excited. And I
put it back in your pants there, Anna. My goodness.
Yeah. I don't have a banana in my pants. Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But, yes. What if it's shaped like a banana? Man, the Banana-mobile. It's perfect.
I think that we need a different way to get people in cars. And I think that we need a really good system like Ollivander's, the wand chooses you kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Because this is kind of tagging on to your car shapes idea, right? It's a banana, it's a cat, whatever, okay? Because here's the deal, though. We live in Texas, right? We work in rural Texas, which means that there are a ton of people who own trucks and have literally no reason to use a truck. And so not only does it just look dumb on them, but it's wasting more gas than it needs to, right? So we're just hurting the world even more. And then if you're driving a smaller car, you can't see past them. Like, it's too much. It's just a mess. There's all these things, and it's not good about it. And I think that maybe we should just have localized car shops where you walk up and then you just kind of like pet all the cars until one of them like speaks to you. But maybe even literally. They just say, hey, we make a perfect team.
I want it to like literally glow like the ones at Ollivander, and I want the music to start.
Right, exactly. And,
Oh, Gregorian chant kind of shit.
you get scanned and you put in things like, this is what I do for work and yada, yada, yada. And so unless you have a reason to haul a ton of just loose stuff most of the time, you don't get a truck. You get a smaller vehicle. You got kids? All right. Well, that means we're probably going to give you a better safety rating as well. Are you an asshole? Well, you don't get this sports car. This is a very, very bad broken down car because you're going to drive it into the ground in a few weeks because you drive like a dick. And this way, people who are good at taking care of cars and just have this kind of personality in which they're going to take care of themselves and the drivers on the road. They have nicer cars and they fit what they need and they don't have anything extra and nobody gets a vanity license plate. And
hey, I have a idea to tag on to that one. So the cars for dicks can be shaped like a giant penis. I know I'm kind of stuck on this shaped-like idea, but I think it would make it clear to everyone, hey, I'm going to stay away from that asshole. Oh my gosh. Or they're shaped like a giant asshole.
Yeah, and
don't know how that happens.
I think that's phase 2, I think is what it is. I think you get the general make and model of the vehicle and the year, just kind of based off of you and your aura and your job and things like that. But then after you drive it for a little bit and you and your car get to know each other, I think that you take it back and it gets reshaped. Like the shape of the car is new.
Painted, yeah.
Yeah, it gets painted, it gets a new
like a MySpace
body,
layout.
and it gets a sick MySpace layout. And every time somebody else gets into the car with you, your favorite song plays, no matter what you were listening to before, because that's what MySpace does. And then you can also rate your top 10 friends in order to cause some real problems. Once again, if you remember that from when you were in middle school. So right. That's phase 2. So phase 1 is Ollivander's Wand Shop. Phase 2 is make it MySpace. And then I think that a lot of problems would be solved.
I think that, like, yeah, so phase 1, Ollivander's awesome. But, like, legit, this is kind of tangible. Like, there should be more quizzes that, like, say what kind of car is right for you, probably. But, okay, I'm going to kind of joke around with everything sort of way. I wish those quizzes would be like BuzzFeed, where it'd be like, pick a scent. Or, like, you find some money on the ground. What do you do?
Like a
and it's like really obvious
dating site, you know?
Right, yeah.
That would work really well.
Yeah. Pick an element.
Okay, speaking of car processes of the future, which is going to happen, what do you think cars are going to become in the future?
Well, I do have one idea. Instead of going the generic, future, they're going to hover, hover cars. How about they just sort of like freaking slip around on the ground, like slip cars, like slide, like water slides, like that. But I like saying slip. I think it's slightly funnier. So, like, you're just slipping around, and you just gotta hope that you don't stop too hard. This is probably a disaster, but I do think it's fun.
No, I'm thinking, what I'm picturing is bumper cars, but also a slip and slide, and that sounds like you could go anywhere, and it's safe, right? Because you're slipping and sliding places. There's no real hard contact. You just kind of go through. And imagine if you ever been driving on the road, and there are 2 cars in front of you, one in each lane, because there's only 2 lanes here, and instead of the one on the left passing the one on the right, which is the way it's supposed to happen, they both go the same speed. And you're like, well, now I'm stuck behind these, and they're going to cause a traffic jam. Well, good on you. Put on the slip setting on your car, and then just slide that puppy right in between those 2 automobiles. And all of a sudden, you're on the other side. Nobody's the wiser because your car was all slippery.
I I love it, and I love the prospect of bubbles happening, of being in a, just picture like the summer, like those cute like heart-shaped glasses, and everyone's in their like high-waisted bikinis and drinking fruity drinks and listening to Lana Del Rey and slipping around in Hollywood traffic. You know, it's a beautiful Americana image. Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
could
Flappy hats.
get like, as if two cars are in front of you and they're moving the same speed, and then one car is trying to slip in between them, but you want to get past all three of those cars, you just put on the bubble settings, and a bunch of bubbles start forming underneath your car. It lifts it into the air and floats it over all three cars.
I think it's beautiful.
All sudsy. Yeah. This car runs on soap, and you know what? It even cleans the driver as it goes. No more smelly people, as long as they're driving somewhere.
Self-care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-care cars.
Self-care cars. We could get
self-driving self-care cars.
I think that self-driving cars are dumb. That's my opinion. I'm sorry you don't share it. I think that I think that the part of a car that's fun about it is driving. Other than that, we're just getting on trains.
I mean, we're talking about slip cars, so I don't think that self-driving self-care cars are that absurd of a concept. But
I didn't say they were absurd. I said that I disagree with them on a fundamental level.
Okay, but you don't disagree on the slip cars on a fundamental level.
No, on a fundamental level, that is fun. You now have a new way to drive between people during traffic. But in a self-driving car, everything is automated, and you're essentially just in on a train, but it's only one train car. Or you're just on a pod that's taking you from one place to the other. It's like the escalator of cars. And it's like you might as well just do the thing, right? I guess it would it would help with some safety things if they did it correctly. But then also at the same time, you have the moral dilemma of self-driving cars. If it's about to hit a person, does it choose to save the person that it's about to hit and crash the car, but that would kill you in the process? Or does it keep the driver safe and kill the person that it's about to run over? Ooh. Who knows?
Well, those are all real dilemmas, and instead of thinking about those, I want to think about how if you were in a self-care car, what kind of stuff would be going on? Like your feet, so let's say you're driving, would your feet be in like the squishy foot bath on the pedal?
It would just be a petty attached to each, that you get in, right? Each of the pedals is a petty. It's a petty pedal.
You're right.
A pedal cure.
Yeah, but it can't tickle is the only problem. Like my feet are a little bit ticklish, and that would be bad if I was driving. So maybe I'd have to control the gas with my hands or something. And this is all it's hard, but I mean it's self-care.
Then you got two arm sleeves that you put in to get your mani, right? Get your mani on. And while you put it in there, right, you can still move your arms left and right, up and down in that circular motion in a way that will still turn the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'll still work for sure. Maybe there's even some bars in there that you turn in order to make harder turns or something. I don't know for sure. I think it would work great, but you get your mani.
We're not the car engineers. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
You get your petty. You get scented real good. Maybe your hair
deodorant.
You get some good old deodorant going.
Yeah. Mints.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. Some mints.
Oh, they just brush your hair, nothing fancy. They just literally just brush it for you, and it feels really nice.
The car scans your brain to see what you need in order to make your day a little bit better. You know, it knows that it like watches you enough, I guess, for the first few weeks to know that if your brain looks like this, then what you probably need is some good comedy podcasts like Okay, So Hear Me Out. And then if it looks this way, then you just really need to listen to some deathcore metal for a little bit in order to get out of your tizzy, things like that.
I think this is perfect. But also, my car would always be handing me tortillas.
I
that's fine.
don't see the problem with that.
Right. That's fine. We've talked before on the show about the importance of tortillas. So, hey, speaking of cars that, like, sense things about you and make decisions for you, what if cars could sense if you had been drinking and you can't drive, like you're too drunk to drive, they like just don't operate. Like it's not even like you have to breathe into the thing because no one's gonna do it. Or like you have to, like, I know some people, like if they're on parole or something, they've got to breathe into the thing, the breathalyzer, in order to start their car, something like that. But instead of taking that extra step, they just sit down in the car, and the car's like, nope, you are drunk. Sorry.
And then
Please let someone else drive. Yeah.
Gives you a bunch of food in order to sober yourself and some water. It says, here you go.
Yes.
Fix your life, buddy.
Perfect. It gives you a friend. It gives you a DD.
Yeah, and if you do that enough, now we get to the self-drive section that I do agree with. It automatically takes you to an AA meeting or a rehab.
Yeah.
So it just, it goes, this is the 5th time this week. Okay. And it starts on, and it just starts driving to the nearest place to where the driver can get help for his addiction.
Or her. Yeah.
I'm going to blame hims for this one. Addicts are all males. No.
Sure, y'all can have them.
Sure, we'll take them.
Hey, okay. New idea. Instead of doing future cars, you know how like things come back in style and stuff like that? Let's go like retro, or pre 1830s, 1930s. Okay, first of all, let me just throw out, I don't know my car dates.
Let's get the Model T back.
Yeah, like I want some like chitty chitty bang bang cars, and you know what? They go slow. Car wrecks aren't gonna happen as much. We all have to enjoy the surroundings a little bit, and they bump a lot, and they're super loud, and there's not roofs on them, or sometimes there are, and lucky you. But let's go a little bit retro with our carriage. What kind of car would you want?
Well, I was a real fan of the Model T, but if I want to go like true retro as I want to go, then it's definitely the car from the Flintstones.
Oh, good one.
I mean,
yes.
It's foot powered, it's heavy in the front like a steamroller. All you gotta do is say the magic yabba yabba doo, and then you're on your way to the local eatery with your best friend Dino.
Yeah, okay, that works. So, I'm gonna go a little bit pre-car, and since I like my cars to poop so much, let's just do horse-drawn carriage. Super big shits. You get to sit inside with like a curtain drawn. Nobody even knows who you are. You could have a driver, super fancy schmancy. You can eat things while you go. You could dress up in a little dress and also probably get sexually harassed. So many possibilities.
Yeah, the rate of theft goes up pretty high too, depending on how rich you are, and it's easier to rob a carriage than it is a car. But that's just bringing some excitement into your life,
right?
I think.
I think the fact that your car poops makes it all worth it.
I disagree, but that's fine.
Well, what about the fact that your car eats carrots?
Okay, that one I can agree with.
All right, cool.
Cars that run on carrots.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hannah, we both really care about the environment, and we try to make as many choices as possible in order to save this wonderfully green earth. That's one thing that we really care about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, time to open up a new segment that we're going to call Han and Aubrey Save the Earth or something like that. I don't really know. But so here's what I'm thinking. So cars are one of the biggest contributors to greenhouse gases that are destroying our atmosphere and causing global warming that will then, of course, kill all of us on our planet. And so people are taking, I'm saying people, we actually as a society, and this is a good thing, are shifting away from cars that run off of natural gas and more towards electric vehicles. Now the problem with that is that in the shift to turn into electric vehicles, that electricity that you're plugging in has to come from somewhere, which means that it's just going to be revamped into the natural gas power plant in your local community. Anyways, so how can we take that and make it as eco-friendly as possible? I have a few ideas.
All right,
I want to just start with one. Okay, so first off is, and this is real that somebody has done, but it just needs to be put on a mass scale in order to make it really happen, is that all the sunroofs in your cars are solar panels.
Heck yeah.
That's the first one.
So, I mean, ideally, we wouldn't have any cars at all. It would just be either like public transportation that is eco-friendly somehow, or, you know, we're all rollerblading to where we're supposed to be. But also, like, it's hard to change everything so fast. So, like, I mean, we work 30 minutes away from where we live, basically. So, like, and we don't have public transportation to get there. So we need cars. But yeah, so I like the idea of us taking cars and making them more green. So let's see, another idea would be like in order to like supplement a normal car or the energy that a normal car needs, what if we have like a little bike attached? I mean, like, so instead of pressing a gas pedal, you could bike around and your car would be like on cruise control or some shit. I don't know. I don't have that part figured out yet. But you pedaling would help the energy efficiency of your car.
Yeah.
And
you
you
get
could
a little
work
bit
out.
of a workout. Yeah.
And
it
your work
raises the
plans.
temperature inside the car so that you don't even have to use the heater as much either. That would be pretty good. And then maybe even your sweat helps somehow. Don't know how yet, but your sweat helps. And don't worry, it's also a self-care car, so the stink that you're making is going to get covered up by the deodorant that you get right before you exit.
Yeah, and some like this little robot hand is going to like dab your sweat for you.
Yeah. I think, okay, so we've got that. I want to add that we have giant wind turbines just along the sides of every major highway and honestly every road, because as everybody drives in the direction down the fast road, then the cars start to create a bit of a draft, right? And so after a while, shouldn't it start turning the wind turbines just a little bit? And then as if all the wind turbines turn because you're creating wind with your cars, then it should add to the energy source at the gas stations, the quote unquote gas stations, the electric car stations on the side of the road.
Yes. Also, that brought me to another thought. What if the friction created from the tires on the road created energy somehow?
Well, I don't know the physics behind it.
Me neither.
All the roads could be solar panels too.
Mm-hmm.
That just and they're also at the same time charging stations like you do with your iPhone, or well, not your iPhone, like you do with your cell phone. You put it on that flat piece of metal and you don't even have to plug it into the wall. It just starts charging it, right?
Yeah.
So there's that point of contact there. And so the bottom of your car is where the battery is, and then the road is a charging station all the time. You get to drive for longer as long as it's sunny out there.
I love it.
That would be helpful. Anyways, that's all we have for this week, folks. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Okay, So Hear Me Out. We enjoy doing this, and we're glad that you've been listening with us. Just, the typical things we have to go over now. We have a Twitter. Go follow us. It's at Okay, So Hear Me Out. Please send us emails at oshmocast@gmail.com. Once again, thank you for listening. Tell your friends about it. Go leave a thing on iTunes or whatever app you listen to, a review. Put 5 stars and 12 thumbs up or whatever the system is. Hannah, are you ready now for your final Okay, So Hear Me Out, or what?
Yes, I sure am.
Go for it then.
Alright, so you open up the CD player of your car and it's no longer for CDs. You put some cookie dough circles on it, you put it in, and it's like an easy bake oven, and then you got hot and fresh and ready cookies within 10 minutes of your drive.
Mine would be nowhere near that, so that is all we have for today, folks. My name is Aubrey Massey.
And I'm Hannah LaFleur.
And this has been Okay, So Hear Me Out.
Bye.